Federal agents went shopping. More than 40 separate times, they logged on to one of the largest online marketplaces on Earth and bought things that are illegal to import into the United States: pharmaceuticals, controlled substances, and machines designed to press powder into pills that look exactly like the real thing. This is Get Rich, and today we follow the money. On the 1st of July, 2026, the United States Department of Justice announced that Alibaba Group Holding Limited and its American payment processor would pay $600 million. It is the largest monetary settlement in the history of the District of Rhode Island. And the story of how that number was reached tells you something uncomfortable about how the world's biggest platforms actually make money, and who gets to keep it when the system fails. If you have ever bought anything from an online marketplace, this is about the invisible machinery sitting between you and the seller. And if you own shares in any large platform company, this is about a bill that is now coming due across an entire industry. Let us start with the structure, because the structure is the whole story. Alibaba runs two marketplaces at the center of this case. Alibaba.com is a business-to-business platform, one of the largest wholesale marketplaces in the world. AliExpress.com is the consumer-facing version, the one that ships parcels to shoppers in Ohio and Manchester and everywhere in between. On both, Alibaba does not own the inventory. It does not manufacture the goods. Third-party merchants list products, buyers click, and Alibaba takes a cut of the activity around the transaction. Then there is the second company, the one most people have never heard of. AUS Merchant Services, formerly known as Alipay US. It is a subsidiary of Ant International, the operator of Alipay, one of the largest digital payment platforms on the planet. AUS is the pipe. When an American buyer pays a merchant on those platforms, AUS is one of the entities that can process the dollars. So you have a marketplace and you have a payment processor. Two doors. Both, according to the Justice Department, were left open. Here is what Alibaba admitted. Between January 2016 and December 2024, nearly 9 years, it failed to prevent merchants on its platforms from completing approximately 80,000 product sales involving imports into the United States. Not 80, not 800. Roughly 80,000 transactions. The goods included pharmaceuticals, regulated chemicals classified by American law as List 1 and List 2, and pharmaceutical counterfeiting equipment. The combined gross merchandise value of those transactions exceeded $200 million. Now, a company can always argue it did not know. Alibaba cannot make that argument cleanly, and this is where the investigation turns. According to the Justice Department, Alibaba did maintain written policies restricting the sale of prohibited products. The rules existed, but employees inside the company raised concerns that the compliance controls were inadequate and that they were failing to stop illegal products from moving. The warning did not come from outside. It came from within. There is another detail in the agreement that reads less like a compliance gap and more like an architecture. Alibaba provided merchants and buyers with a private messaging service built into the platform. Some merchants used it to arrange unlawful transactions. And in some cases, according to the department, merchants used that in-platform messaging to steer buyers onto third-party encrypted messaging apps, moving the conversation somewhere the platform could not see it at all. So, follow the money. Where does it actually go? The Justice Department stated it plainly. Alibaba derived profit related to those sellers' illegal activity on Alibaba.com by charging fees, membership fees, marketing fees, advertising fees, shipping fees, payment processing fees. Read that list again, because it is the entire economic logic of a marketplace. Alibaba was not selling counterfeit pill presses. It was selling access, visibility, and logistics to whoever wanted them, and taking a percentage of the activity either way. The revenue did not care what was in the box. Now, the second door, the payment side. AUS admitted that between January 2020 and December 2023, It accepted United States dollar payments, credit cards, and wire transfers routed through American bank accounts, before transferring those funds offshore for settlement on behalf of its customers. Dollars in through the American banking system, dollars out to somewhere else. When AUS built its own transaction monitoring system for those payments, it failed to fully incorporate certain wire transfer data. That is a technical sentence with an enormous consequence. Because the data was incomplete, the monitoring did not always flag payments coming from high-risk jurisdictions. It did not always flag multiple different payors settling a single invoice, which is, to anyone who has worked in financial crime compliance, a textbook pattern worth a second look, and AUS admitted something further. Its anti-money laundering compliance program failed to prevent some Alibaba merchants from using its payment and settlement services to facilitate the sale and import of prohibited products into the United States. But here's where it gets genuinely revealing. In certain instances, rather than systematically restricting merchants it had identified as selling prohibited goods, AUS reported those merchants to Alibaba instead. It passed the name across the table. And in at least one instance, according to the Justice Department, a merchant carried on selling prohibited products to American buyers after AUS had investigated and reported it. One company had the payment data. The other company had the platform controls. The information moved between them. The merchant kept selling. So what does $600 million actually consist of? Alibaba agreed to pay a criminal monetary penalty of $125 million and to forfeit a further $200 million. AUS agreed to a criminal monetary penalty of $85 million and forfeiture of $190 million. Both companies agreed to strengthen their compliance programs and to keep cooperating with any ongoing or future criminal investigation into this conduct. And now the part that matters most, the part that most coverage skipped. Nobody was prosecuted. This is a non-prosecution agreement. There is no criminal conviction here, and no individual has been charged in connection with it. Alibaba and AUS accepted responsibility for the acts of their officers, directors, employees, and agents. That is not the same as a guilty verdict, and it is important to say so precisely. The department explained why. It cited the company's good faith efforts to refine compliance measures, their remedial steps, the absence of prior criminal history, their cooperation with federal agencies, and the nature and seriousness of the offense. Which brings us to the question every investor should be asking. Was $600 million a punishment or a price? Alibaba measures revenue in the tens of billions of dollars per quarter. $600 million is real money, but it is a known, finite, one-time number, and markets tend to pay a premium for finite over open-ended. The announcement itself did not send the shares sharply lower. Several major brokerages trimmed their price targets while keeping positive ratings. The deeper significance is not the number. It is the legal theory. The Justice Department did not argue that Alibaba sold these drugs. It argued that Alibaba failed to prevent others from selling them on its platform and profited from the surrounding activity while doing so. Failure to prevent. That standard targets the host, not the vendor. And how much responsibility a marketplace operator carries for what its sellers do is a question American law has not fully settled. The implicit argument in this resolution is that scale creates obligation. A platform large enough to carry 80,000 illegal transactions is a platform large enough to be expected to stop them. Every large marketplace operating into the United States now has a $600 million data point to think about. And every plaintiff's lawyer and state attorney general has one to cite. So, what should you take from this? 3 things. First, Alibaba admitted roughly 80,000 prohibited transactions over 9 years, worth more than $200 million, on platforms where its own employees had already raised the alarm about weak controls. Second, the money reached the company not through the illegal goods themselves, but through the ordinary fees around them, which is precisely why the incentive to look closely was so weak. Third, this ended in a payment and a compliance undertaking, not a conviction. The lesson for your own money is simple. When you buy on a marketplace, you are trusting the platform's screening, not the seller's honesty. And when you invest in a platform, compliance is not an administrative footnote. It is a revenue question with a delayed invoice. If this breakdown was useful, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next investigation. And tell me in the comments, was $600 million real accountability or just the cost of doing business? I read every reply. This has been Get Rich. Follow the money, and it will always tell you the truth.